What up, guys? Welcome back to the Shinobi Squad Podcast. I'm fan service Renji.
I'm Shana Mostella.
Today, we're going to talk about crazy people that have ended up at cons.
Wow, this is long overdue. I'm glad we're talking about this now.
Yeah, it's like you want to talk about it, but then there's always another crazy person
Oh, yeah.
a month or two later. Let me start with the most recent one.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, this is another story from Chicago.
Oh, no.
Our very
Not the
first
hometown.
yeah, right? So
Shit, man.
why the crazy ones got to come from the Midwest?
Chirac.
Chirac. Yeah, the first podcast we talked about a photographer that got exposed.
Mm-hmm.
He was from Chicago, unfortunately. From the community that we were from, we knew him. We had interacted with this guy. Well, sad to say, this next story is about someone else that we've interacted with. A DJ from the Chicago area has been arrested
Man.
on multiple counts.
Who is it?
You may know him as DJ Jeff Ito.
Jafito.
I believe his government name is Jeff Sakurai, something like that.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
don't quote me on the counts and charges. I'm just trying to think back to what I remember.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a couple counts of sodomy with an underage girl,
Yikes.
statutory rape. Long story short, he was messing around with 3 or 4 underage girls.
And for those of you who aren't watching this on YouTube, I'm shaking my head, just so y'all know, because this guy, he was teetering on the line between that, you shouldn't be talking to underage people in general. So it's not a surprise to me that he got caught up in some shit with that.
Yeah, so let's get into the details. He got arrested. He was charged with multiple counts of sodomy and statutory rape. While he was in custody, he also confessed to being with the girl that was underage, that was his girlfriend.
Oh, no.
So on top of all the other accusations that he was facing, he just admitted to another one. I mean, I guess the justice out of it is at least he admitted to it.
Right.
And justice will be served. We always hear about these creeps in the community. They get called out, they get exposed, but nothing ever happens. At least with this, with DJ Jeff Ito, he was actually arrested. And he's going to court, he's going to trial. In him being arrested, he confessed to something that they didn't even charge him with. He was just like, yeah, y'all got me. I also did this. I had a relationship with an underage girl.
Wow. So he just went along with it and just said, hey, I've been doing a lot of stuff that y'all don't know.
Yeah, I was surprised when I read that myself. I was like, he just went in and said, yeah, I did this. Or,
wow.
By the way, I also had a long-term girlfriend that was underage.
Wow. Maybe he's just been doing it for so long to where he's just like, I don't even care anymore. This is what I've been doing. Handcuff me.
You do hear that a lot about criminals. They're just tired of the way they are. They just need something to force that change. So maybe he just was like, you know what? I've been messing with underage girls for a long time. I know it's wrong. Someone needs to stop me.
I wish that was the case for a lot of these guys out here.
Right? Especially when they at the cons messing with underage girls.
Don't you wish that everything was that easy?
Yeah. When I saw the article going around, it kind of like hurt me. I've interacted with this dude. I have paid him to DJ at my events. Mind you, this was 6-7 years ago when I lived in Chicago. But just to think back to like, dude, I had you at an all ages event.
Right.
And now I feel bad that I helped put him in front of potential victims.
Right.
Reading his article, he's been with people from different states. Because he was a friend of mine on Facebook, I do remember him being in Chicago. He was in, like, I don't know, like Nebraska or Idaho. He was in Indiana. He was even as far as Hawaii. He'd been all over the place. He was just traveling for work.
And I remember that too about him. But what makes it not so personal for me is because I didn't really open myself up to him in a personal way.
Yeah.
I never knew him, but he was always a convention staple.
Yeah.
His name would be brought up anywhere we went back in the day. And it was just one of those things where, it's Jafito.
Yeah. And for the record, he was not a personal friend of mine, but on a professional relationship, I would see him around.
Yeah, but you would work with him,
Yeah,
so
I would
you
work
would
with
know.
him because he would DJ at some of the conventions that I would be a part of.
Right.
I would guest at a con and he would DJ.
Right.
So I saw him as a local DJ in the community. I'm all about supporting local artists. When I started throwing parties, I hired him to come DJ at some of my events.
Right.
The only thing I really knew about him on a personal level was, yeah, he got drunk and reckless, and people told me he used to pop mollies and do pills. But that's your personal life.
Right.
Whatever you do, that's on you. You know, if you get drunk or you do drugs, I'm not here to judge. You know,
Right.
we've all done things we're not proud of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did hear allegedly he threw a chair off his balcony at ASIN.
Oh my God.
But those are alleged stories. But
Right.
again, when he would show up to events that I was a part of, he was always professional. He
Right.
was on time, did what he had to do, and left.
And that's what makes it not so surprising to me, because he was never a personal friend of mine. But I had heard stories. He was the legendary Jafito. He always used to be a party dude.
But those stories
Yeah.
were just like partying.
It was partying, but there were other speculations. But again, like, I wasn't personal with him,
Yeah.
so I never knew exactly who he was. So
I mean,
to me, it just seems like,
I didn't hear those like accusations of him and underage girls till long after
Right.
I stopped working with him when I moved here. When I was in Chicago, the only thing I heard negative about him was, yeah, he just goes way too hard on the substance
those are the
use.
things I know for sure.
Yeah.
Because we've seen him in person a bunch of times where he was
Yeah.
just off his rocker.
Yeah, and it's like, well, I mean, you a DJ, you a rock star,
He's a rock
you
star,
you in the entertainment life. So
Right.
if you drink a lot and get drunk, I mean, it's nothing
We're
new.
no strangers to that.
Yeah, it's nothing new to entertainers.
Mm-hmm.
Then to come back and hear about this stuff,
Right.
I saw this brewing up a few years ago when cosplayers started calling out people. His name popped up. No one really popped up with any significant evidence like they did with the photographer Ryzen. You got to take that with a grain of salt sometimes, because if people don't have evidence, you don't know if it's a personal beef,
Right.
a grudge.
Especially if you're a kind of person who's always in the party scene, always doing
Yeah.
your own thing. We
Yeah.
don't know for sure.
Yeah, as much as we knew about Jeff Vito, he had a lot of personal drama within the DJ scene eventually.
Right.
I believe ASIN eventually banned him. I don't know the reason why. 1 year came across and he suddenly stopped DJing at the Soap Bubble. He took it upon himself to throw a parking lot rave in revenge or spite of not being part of Soap Bubble.
Yep.
Which I always thought that was whack. So for the record, if you was one of the DJs that was a part of the parking lot rave, that's kind of some petty shit. Like, the convention spends so much money to throw this amazing event, the Soap Bubble, which is one of the best raves
Which
in
has
the
been going on for
country.
years.
Yeah. For the record, for those who've never been to ASIN, Soap Bubble is one of the best convention dances ever.
Yeah, it really is.
I've been to biggest cons on the East Coast, the West Coast, like Soap Bubble.
It's been the best every
I'm gonna blow
single
a kiss
time.
to that. But anyways, that was when I started seeing like a downward spiral with Jeff Vito.
Right.
Again, I was like, you know what? That's his personal business. If he got beef with ASIN or Soap Bubble and he wants to throw a rave in the parking lot in the snow or the rain, because if those have been to ASIN, y'all know every year there's a great chance of it snowing and raining in May.
It's either a flood or a blizzard.
Because Chicago, whether it be like, screw you, I want to snow. I don't care if it's July.
Every year.
But yeah, I was like, that's the only big negative thing I saw. You know, besides his reckless, drunk, or Molly-driven behavior. Then comes these accusations. One person calls him out, another person calls him out, but no one really had significant hardcore proof. Then all of a sudden, this shows up.
Right.
The headlines say, local person of this county gets arrested.
After all these years, too.
But like I said, at least he's arrested, and he's clearly guilty because he had admitted to it.
Yeah, he just flat out said what he did. So what are you supposed to do? Just let him go.
Multiple accounts. It just goes back to that old saying, like, you just never know who you're in the presence of. After seeing this article come to light, you think back he was a DJ.
Yeah.
He had a lot of people admiring him,
Right.
for lack of better words. Especially when it came to the raves, girls were admiring the DJs for either just because they were fans or they wanted to get on stage.
Right.
I've said it before. A lot of the girls that end up on stage dancing are just girls that the DJs want to hook up with.
Exactly.
I said that 6 years ago when I first moved to LA, and I stand by that statement.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these girls that end up on stage dancing are just girls that DJs want to hook up with.
Mm-hmm.
If this con doesn't have any kind of audition process and a DJ all of a sudden just invites you on stage for his set and you ain't really a dancer out there pursuing any kind of go-go dancers, yeah, he probably just trying to smash. I'm sorry. That's the hard truth.
It is, though.
It's the hard truth.
It is.
I used to book DJs and dancers to come on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And I made it clear that DJs were not allowed to just let anyone on stage without letting it get through me.
Right.
You and I have danced on stage before.
Exactly.
I used to be a male go-go, for those that don't know. If some of y'all think back to YomaCon 09 and on, I used to be on that stage.
Mm-hmm.
And I've taken that to other cons. I knew about DJs just trying to use their position of power on girls. And that's why I made it a point with these conventions. Like, nah, I'm going to choose who comes on stage. If they have a specific dancer because it's a part of their crew,
Right.
then we can work it out. I've seen enough DJs just pull girls on stage for that exact reason. Not saying all DJs do that, but that's just a fact to keep in mind for what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You think back about that, it's like, he's a DJ that caters to a lot of underage people.
Yeah.
He also used to be a resident DJ. I shouldn't say resident because I don't know how frequent he used to DJ at a certain club in Elgin, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a teen club.
Okay.
He used to DJ there. And then you start putting the pieces together like, oh, okay. And then his day job, he used to work at like a Dave and Buster's arcade kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Again, exposed to a lot of young people.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like crap about it because, like I said earlier, I knew him, but I didn't know him.
Right.
It makes me question a lot of the people I meet now.
And you never know. Again, bringing it back to that, you just never know who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
You never know someone's potential and what they're capable of.
Yeah. It's like you've been a dancer at raves, at cons.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've had DJs or promoters be kind of sketchy.
Oh, yeah. And especially after the fact, because I've always been a part of, thankfully, I've always been a part of being a go-go dancer that went about it professionally.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go through any secondary party or anybody who was just at the rave and stuff like that. I always went through it through a company that, also compensated me for being there that night. So luckily, it wasn't about that, but after the fact, the DJs would come to me and ask me what I'm doing later that night, and if I want to do the after party for them and stuff like that. So it was just, I get the whole scene, that whole like grimy scene.
Oh yeah.
That being said,
I mean, not to shade DJs or anything.
it's not every DJ, but sometimes it came to that point.
It's just the grimy other side of the entertainment industry.
It's the dark side.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. It's like, unfortunately, a lot of people, especially men, try to use their position of power to persuade women or girls in this case into doing other shit.
And I can't tell you how many times I've been invited to these after parties and after things because I wasn't with them when it came to me being a go-go dancer initially, but these guys, these DJs would just come up to me and just like try to take all the dancers and like whoever they could scout and have them as arm candy sometimes too. All the time.
I've been told by dancers that they've been invited to parties where like promoters or people part of the crew would literally invite them to their hotel room and try to kiss up on them.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, whoa.
I've had that too.
Oh.
I've had that experience as well. Someone who, I'm not going to say who, but it was a household name as well. And that person invited me to their hotel room before any go-go dancing even happened. Like they just knew that I was going to be a part of the stage. They knew that I was going to be dancing during their set, and they invited me to their room, and things kind of went south, and that's when I had to leave. I'm going to say it. He was trying to take advantage of me. I didn't let that happen because I'm who I am. But they were trying to take advantage of me just because they knew I was dancing, just because they knew that they were a DJ. And yes, this was a DJ.
So what were you trying to do? Like pick up your badge or something? And then like he's like, hey, let me show you around my hotel room.
And that's another thing. He was one of the DJs that had everyone's badges at the time because it was for a specific convention. And I happened to be up there because he had my badge.
Yeah.
So then he's like using that as leverage and kind of like using it as blackmail as well. I'm like, dude, I'm just here to get my badge. Like, I don't want to be with you. I don't want to kiss you or do anything like that. But he did try it. He tried to kiss me. He tried to offer things further than just kissing and stuff like that. I'm just like, I'm not with it.
Yeah.
I'm not with it at all. And I just came for my badge. I'm like, dude, just give me my badge. It's my badge.
Yeah. So when you think about things like that, bring it back to Jeff Vito, it's not a surprise that he was with a bunch of underage people because unfortunately, a lot of people under the age of 21 even are very impressionable.
They had stars in their eyes.
Yeah, they see a DJ. They're like, oh my God, he's a DJ.
Right.
But they don't see that he's a DJ one weekend of a con a couple months of the year. You know, it's like, but to them, to the people that don't know any better, he's like super DJ. He's DJ Snake. He's DJ.
Exactly. He's just, the household name. And
yeah,
that's what they know.
I can't even say I feel sorry for you, Jeff Vito. I know you're never going to see this because you admitted to being guilty of dating an underage girl and they're going to throw you under the jail.
It just sucks. It just sucks that someone that was always a household name, someone that we always knew. It
does suck because he was a part of a lot of cons we used to go to in the Midwest, and you just hate to see people get taken down like that.
And again, like, I don't know what he was going through personally. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I didn't know him, but like, it still sucks to hear something like that because you know the name, you know the face.
Yeah.
And now they're in prison for I don't even know how long.
You got to read the warning signs. A lot of us didn't take it serious.
Yeah.
But with all these creeps and crazies and weirdos popping in the con scene, you do have to take a couple minutes out to be like, hold up. Who is this person really?
Mm-hmm. And to all you younger listeners out there, viewers, I know you're young and everything seems impressionable, but not everything that shimmers is gold. And you just kind of have to go with that and just be smart about things. You're not going to know everything, but at least just see the red flags when they're there. Don't have stars in your eyes all the time because you don't know these people. And they could take advantage of you just because they know that they are the people that they are and they know who you are as well. They know who you are before you know who they really are.
Oh, yeah.
So,
because a lot of these like creeps that prey on underage girls, they do their research.
Yeah.
They take time to see what the girl's into, what she's aspiring to be, and that's how they manipulate her. Long story short, any professional will never ask you to do something that makes you feel uncomfortable. If someone wants to work with you, whether it be a DJ, photographer, or whatever professional, they will never ask you to compromise your integrity.
Yep.
They want to work with you because they see a mutual gain for them.
They will never ask you to do anything extra that you're not comfortable with. They'll never ask you to do nudes, get naked, nothing like that. If they're booking you based on your talent, that's all it's got to be, and that's all it is.
Yeah, and that's
all it is.
That's all it needs to be. It's sad and scary that we have to have these conversations in the cosplay community now.
Yeah, because it needs to be brought up so that people can keep a lookout.
Yeah, people just need to be reminded that it's not the safest place anymore.
It's not. Especially it's not innocent anymore.
Yeah, especially with all the younger people going to cons these days.
And especially all the new people going too. Yeah,
I'm sure, especially as a woman.
Oh, yeah.
You have your share of crazy encounters.
Oh, all the time, because even when I first debuted my cosplay career, I guess, I was always dressed a certain way. I've always been sexy. I've always had sexy cosplays. I've always done that thing. And I've always had people come up to me and harass me. And I've always had people come up to me the wrong way. And I'm used to it, but there's a lot of people out there who aren't.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring this up. I remember not too long ago, it was actually last year, it was during Anime Expo out here in California. Anime Expo is held at the LA Convention Center, where they also have like different things going on, sometimes at the same time as conventions.
It's right next to the Staples Center.
Yeah.
Another big venue.
There you go. Yeah. They were having Anime Expo at the convention center and the Shawn Mendes concert at the Staples Center.
I remember the Shawn Mendes concert because I was kind of lit and talking shit. Anyways.
Because they had distinctively divided us cosplayers against the people who were there for the concert because it's two big different events.
Yeah, because Photographer Alley is right outside of the Staples Center where the Shawn Mendes concert was happening. So people couldn't do their photography setup because they were doing VIP parking for the concert. I remember that.
And even in general, like anything that had to do with where we were in the convention center, it's really close to the Staples Center.
You can walk out the door to the convention center and be at the Staples Center in like 2 minutes.
Yeah. So that's how I wanted you guys to get the idea of how close we were. I was standing with my friend. I was wearing something scantily clad, something leotard,
Yeah.
I wasn't wearing too much, and neither was my friend, but it was, tasteful, and nothing was going on. And I just remember us having a conversation. We're talking, between us. And on the other side of the gate where the Shawn Mendes concert was, this man comes up.
You almost said gentleman, didn't you?
I'm a nice person. I can't talk shit.
This gentleman. This asshole.
Okay, we won't get into why he's an asshole yet, but this asshole came up to me initially because I was kind of leaning towards the gate mostly, and like my friend was on the opposite side of me. So he comes up to me and goes, "Oh, you look really nice." But then he goes farther and just says like, "Oh, you're like super sexy. Like, are you here for the concert too? Are you dressed like that for the concert?" I'm just like, what are you talking about? I'm like, we're in two different worlds right now. Like, but I knew there was a separation because we were dressed up in costumes, and like the people on the other side were dressed up in like street clothes and whatever. Yeah. So I'm just like, what? Dude, do you not see it? Do you not
see
get
the barrier?
We were like, he was literally on the opposite side of the gate, and me and my friend and everybody else were on the other side of the gate. So it was literally a divide. So it's like, obviously, I'm not there for the concert. Obviously, I'm here for, like, the thing that's on the other side. So he's like, "Are you here for the concert? Why are you dressed like that? You're so sexy." And he just, like, was trying to be, I guess, like, flirtatious and whatever. So then I just kind of dismiss him because I already know, like, I've done this before. I've been in the same vicinity as normies, as we like to call them, when I'm at a convention. I know that. Like, I've been through that all my life. Like, I've seen that before. So I just kind of just brush it off. Like, you just go over there.
Yeah.
But then he went for me, and then he saw the girl next to me, my friend, and he goes, "You're disgusting." Like, no chill whatsoever. He didn't even say anything. He just goes, he looks her up and down. He goes, "You're disgusting." And I'm like, "Excuse me?"
Wow.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
So I was livid from that point. And I'm like, "What do you mean, sir? Who are you talking to?" Because at first I thought you was talking to me. I saw him looking at her. And then I told him to shut the fuck up, basically. And to just get away from me. My friend was just like, she's also used to, banter and stuff like that. Yeah. So she just kind of brushes it off herself. But I'm like, no, I wasn't having it. I was like, oh, hell no. Like, who are you talking about? Who are you saying is disgusting? So I had a problem initially from the jump. And then after he said that, he just walked away like nothing was happening. I'm like, yeah, you get your ass on the back side of the fucking gate. You ain't a part of this. Get your ass over there in the Shawn Mendes concert with your ugly ass. Like, I was not having it, especially because it's my friend. Like, you're talking shit about my friend, and like, nah, we're not having that.
Yeah, you gotta stand up.
And we're not having. We are not having it. So,
I can't snap. So,
but
we're not having it.
We continued with our conversation after you walked off, but I was still heated. Like I wanted to have my love and hip hop moment. Like I was still like grinding my knuckles. I was still like
Jocelyn
where
Hernandez
he at.
Ass.
I was, and I'm like, where he at though? Like I was about to throw down. Like people look at me and think like, oh, you're so cute and you're so no. I'm scrappy.
Chi-town, bitch.
I'm scrap. I got the Chi-town inside of me. Even though I live here in LA, I do have a little bit of scrap.
You can take the girl out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the girl.
So I'm like, take it off.
Bang.
I'm taking off my shoes. I'm getting the Vaseline. I'm like, oh, hell no. Where's this
She
person
putting the
at?
Vaseline on your face. For those that don't know, hood people put Vaseline on their face, so when someone try to punch you, you're slippery, so you can dodge punches.
They
Punches
can't
slip
get
on
me.
your face. Yeah.
I'm evasive. I'm just like, woo, woo, woo.
So for all you bird
I'm
people that
voguing.
understand that, if you know you're about to fight, put some Vaseline on your face
Oh,
because
yeah.
you're slippery because then
Ooh.
punches don't connect.
Exactly.
Anyways.
So I'm still thinking about this dude that just
Yeah.
walked off because I know it's not too far away that these people are,
Oh yeah, because
they're right there.
they were with feet away. Feet. They're on the other side of a fence.
So I knew he was still in the vicinity. So
Yeah.
I'm like, she's talking to me still because she doesn't even care. Like at this point, like she's already dealt with this kind of thing before.
Mm-hmm.
So she's not even thinking about it. But I'm just in the meanwhile, I'm just looking around my shoulder like, where this bitch at? Where he at? Where he at? Come and find me because you got something to say, obviously. When I turn my head, I see him kind of like not too far off in the distance, but he was still right there in the area. And he's like kind of like teetering back and forth against the gate. I just see him still kind of looking at me and still kind of looking at us. It was just one of those things where I'm like, should I do something about it? Should I say something more? Should I jump the gate and fight him or what? But it was just one of those things. For some reason, I just knew it wasn't over.
Mm-hmm.
So I was keeping my eyes peeled. I'm like, I see you over there. And if he were to come closer to us again, I would do something about it. But like, I noticed he just kept his distance. It wasn't that far of a distance, but he still kept his distance. And I was still heated about it by the time I saw you.
Yeah.
Because you were at the same
Oh
event.
yeah.
I know your ass. You ain't playing at all, no matter what the situation is. And I told you about it because I still wanted my revenge. Like, honestly, like that was in the back of my mind. That was seated. Because either I'm going to go to jail or you're going to handle it. Whatever's going to happen. But I told you about it.
Yeah. I definitely remember that moment. I was just minding my business. I was cosplaying Avatar Aang at the moment. I was filming with one of my friends. We was just kicking it, just having a good time. I walk up to Shana and our other friend, and she filled me in. I was super concerned because over this last year, there's been a lot of super crazy events that's happening at cons. One event in particular that stuck out to me was when someone went to a Comic-Con trying to shoot up Jason David Frank. If y'all don't know who Jason David Frank is, he was the original Green Power Ranger. Who has that much beef and animosity that they want to kill a Power Ranger?
Oh my God. Like, have you not seen the show?
Yeah.
You ain't gonna live.
Don't quote me. I'm just trying to recollect facts here. This person posted online, loaded up their car full of guns and bullets that they was coming to a Comic-Con that Jason David Frank was guessing at, and they was going to shoot his ass up.
Oh, no.
This dude showed up at the con. Oh, yes, he did. Luckily, law enforcement took it seriously, and they intercepted him before he got to Jason David Frank. Checked his car or whatever the shit he had. And yes, he had bullets, guns, knives. He had a bunch of shit. He was out to kill the original Green Ranger.
That's a shame.
That was just one incident. There was another incident at New York Comic Con where like two friends decided they were going to shoot up New York Comic Con.
Oh, no.
Posted that shit online. Loaded up their car with 400 or 500 rounds of ammunition and all these guns and made their way to Comic Con. Luckily, police took it seriously, found them on the way there, pulled them over. Guess what? They had all those guns and ammo that they were talking about. So when Shauna told me about this dude, I was like, that's kind of extra. That seems like a potential shooter situation.
And he was still in the vicinity. And that's normally if something like that happens, I just let it go because usually that person would just go and do their thing.
Yeah.
But that person was still lingering in the background.
And that's what concerned me. Because conventions are at hotels or convention centers, you do come across a lot of normies, and normies will talk shit and just keep it moving.
Yeah.
30 minutes had passed by, and he's still lingering in the area.
Yep.
If he was there for a Shawn Mendes concert, the line was moving. You would think he was trying to get in that concert, But he wasn't even in line. He was just wandering around. With all that Jason David Frank shooting in mind, I took it upon myself to just follow this dude around. I wasn't going to just watch this dude shoot up Anime Expo.
Mm-hmm.
I started following him around, and he quickly started exposing the crazy. He would go to a group of people and start talking shit. He would just be like, you guys are nasty. You're a bunch of infidels. You're going to hell. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. It was one thing just to look at Shana and our friend and be like, oh, y'all nasty or whatever.
Yeah.
This dude was going to people and saying they're infidels and followed him around some more. He was walking around Anime Expo just talking shit to people.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't talking shit directly in their face, but he would be within 3-4 feet talking out loud, hoping they would notice.
Right.
Oh, you guys are going to hell. You guys are doing wrong. God would not want you to dress up as these evil creatures. Like, whoa, now he's bringing God into this?
Yeah.
He started getting biblical. The straw that broke the camel's back, he walked up to another group of girls. This dude raised his hands to the sky to Jesus, and it was like, oh, Jesus, Lord, please punish these infidels for violating what you have created on this beautiful earth. They're just doing wrong and putting soil on your name. Please, God, punish them right now.
Wow.
I was like, hold up. You did not just put your hands to the Lord and ask him to throw some lightning down on a bunch of cosplayers.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, I started filming by that point. I caught that shit all on camera.
Mm-hmm.
He turned around and he saw me. He was like, what are you doing? Me being the avatar, trying to bring balance to the cosplay world.
Right.
I was like, dude, what are you doing? He snapped back. Are you filming me? Are you filming me right now? You don't have the right to film me. You want to go to jail? You want to go to jail? I'm like, as the avatar, I was calm. I was like, bro, what is your problem? Why are you talking shit to cosplayers? He's still snapping back. You're going to go to jail. You don't have the right to film me. You're going to go to jail. I'm like, as the avatar, calm. I'm not going to jail. You're the one asking the Lord to throw lightning down on people. Yeah. What is your deal? You can't film me. Actually, I can. What is your problem? And I'm still filming him this whole time.
Yeah.
I'm still filming him. Oh, you want to go to jail? You want to go to jail? I'm like, yeah, take the avatar to jail. He marches off to the nearest two police officers. He walks off to these police officers, which are like 20 feet away from me. I'm watching him walk towards the police officer. He's tapping on their shoulders. He's having a full-on panic attack. I see him pointing at me. Mm-hmm. I could tell what he's saying. Police officers are listening to his story. As I'm waiting, these two kids and their parents come up to me. This little girl was like, Avatar Aang, can I take your picture? So I'm taking family pictures with these two kids and their parents. Oh, and then another group of kids come by. Avatar Aang, can I take your picture? I'm taking pictures with them in my peripheral, which means the side of my eye.
I think they know what it means.
I see in my peripheral, the police officer walking towards me. The universe was on my side. As the police officer walking towards me, more and more kids are asking to take my picture. I'm smiling. I'm being Avatar Aang. Aang's just a fun-loving dude. He's a good guy. Police officers finally make it up to me. Hey, excuse me. We got to talk to you. All right, cool. What's the problem, officer? I see bitch-ass crazy dude about 20 feet away. Just hiding behind a bush.
Oh, my God.
Police officer's like, hey, that gentleman over there in the blue plaid shirt says you're causing a problem with him. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to entertain what they're saying. What is he saying about me? He said you walked up to him and you threatened to kill him.
Oh, my God.
And you threatened to murder him if he continues to harass you. I was like, wait, what? Me threaten him? That's what he said, sir. I was like, okay, officer. Is that all he said? He said you came up to him, started harassing him, and threatened to kill him while you were filming him. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay. He said I was filming all that. Well, I will show you my phone and show you my whole entire exchange. I explained to police officers exactly what I saw. Mm-hmm. I was like, he's the one threatening all of us.
Right.
I even explained the whole Jason David Frank shooting thing. I was like, hey, I'm a YouTuber. I'm a big part of this community. I just want to make sure my fellow peers are safe.
Right.
Someone told me what he was doing, so I wanted to follow him and make sure he wasn't going to shoot up this convention.
Right.
Showed the police officers my footage.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, okay. We believe you. We figured he was kind of exaggerating. As we were making our way towards you, we saw you take pictures with kids and their parents.
Because you're the avatar, for God's sake.
Yeah, exactly. But they didn't know who the avatar was.
Right.
They were like, as police officers, we understood that someone who's threatening to kill someone, or as crazy as this person claimed, you would not be taking sweet pictures with children. I'm like, exactly, officer. Thank you for hearing me out.
Oh my God. I love those officers.
Yeah, I have the footage right here. Just talking to you, we believe you. You have the footage. You did the right thing. Just for the record, you have every right to film him in a public space.
Exactly.
This is a public space and a public event.
Mm-hmm.
He can't press any charges for you filming him.
Mm-hmm.
Then they were like, just do us a favor, just so this doesn't escalate anymore. Just delete this footage. We will talk to him and tell him to leave you alone as long as you leave him alone. I'm like, I'm not messing with him. They're like, we understand that. Just don't make it any more than what it is. We will talk to him and tell him to keep his distance.
Mm-hmm.
Police officers sat there and made sure I deleted the footage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking it's cool.
Right.
Part ways, minding my business. 30 minutes later, one of my videographer friends wants to film me. I'm like, cool, let's go film. I was like, cool, let me vlog this real quick so I have some YouTube coverage.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here vlogging and I'm talking to my videographer friend and I'm kind of telling him about the story. And then in the background, I hear somebody talking. Guess who it was?
Oh my fucking God.
It was Jesus' soldier.
Oh man.
I hear him in the background talking super loud on his phone.
Wow.
This dude was like, hello, 911? Hey, there's this guy that's bald with a blue arrow pointed on his head. He threatened to kill me. He's still threatening to kill me. I'm trying to play it off like I don't hear him. So I kind of nudge my friend like, look, that guy I was telling you about is right behind us because I see him in my vlog camera.
Yeah.
I'm like, just play along. He's like, okay. So we're sitting there vlogging. This dude is like 4 feet behind me. You see him in the frame. You see him in the video. And he's going out of his way to walk past me. And he even looks into the camera.
Dumbass.
I did keep that still frame of him looking at my camera.
Wow.
For evidence of who he is. So I'm trying to vlog with my friend, just trying to play dumb, right?
Right.
And this dude's in the background, just like this guy. He's got a stick and he's got a blue arrow on his head and he's got blue arrow tattoos on his arm. Yeah, he's trying to kill me. Come and get him right now. I'm at the Los Angeles Convention Center. My name is blah, 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 blah. Come and get him. Come and get him. He's threatening to shoot me and a bunch of other people.
Oh, wow.
I'm getting this all on camera.
What a shame.
I go shoot my video footage with my friend, just trying to ignore him.
Mm-hmm.
I look around and this dude is like probably like 40 feet away from me. He's not as close, but he's still within a line of sight.
Right.
I tell my friends all about him so multiple people can keep a lookout. And he stayed within 40, 50 feet of me that whole time.
Oh, yeah. Because I remember I met up with you at some point and you were talking to your friends. You're doing whatever you were doing. And then I was just off, next to you. And I see this guy, the same guy with the blue plaid shirt, just behind us. Like, he wasn't even trying to be concealed in any way.
No.
Like, he was just standing there.
He was just there. Like, he made it obvious that he was watching us. He wasn't super close, but he was close enough that we noticed him.
Oh, yeah.
Like he kept a line of sight on us.
I kid you not. This guy was behind us and trailing us the entire time. We were just minding our own business at this point because after Renji had told me, like, he had squashed it with the police and everything, like, I before I knew about the vlog footage, I thought everything was squashed. But I'm still keeping a lookout because I don't know these people. I don't know if he's crazy or not. So I just keep a lookout on my own terms.
Just in that moment, like probably An hour and a half had gone by.
Yeah.
And he had still was focused on us.
Yeah, and no time at all. Like ever since he had the encounter with me, up until you got involved with him, he did not leave our vicinity.
If you include Shauna's encounter,
Yeah.
that was at least 2 hours. I knew he wasn't calling the police because the police were right there. Like,
right.
These weren't hired convention security. This was LAPD. They were already there, so I knew he was just faking it on his phone. Who calls the police and says, "Hello, 911"? First of all, put some more minutes on your fucking prepaid Boost
his
Mobile
chirp phone.
on your chirp phone. So finally, we're like, you know what? Let's go inside. It's getting kind of dangerous because he's obsessed.
It got to
Nina.
that point. It got to the point where he was just always there outside, to where we just decided to go inside to where maybe he couldn't follow us.
We started making our way inside. I ran into Vampy Bit Me, super fanboy of Vampy. So I stopped to say hi and talk to her. But it was also strategic because Vampy was surrounded by a lot of people. So I had witnesses.
Right.
I wanted witnesses in case this dude just did something. He noticed me stop and he stopped. I made it a point to vlog with Vampy just so I could try to catch him in the background.
Right.
Talk to Vampy for about 5-10 minutes. He stopped as if we were playing red light, green light. And then I kept moving. Then he kept moving. Made my way to the checkpoint at Anime Expo this year. They had super strict security. So you had to not only check your bag, you had to have a badge and tap in and tap out your badge.
Yeah. They had a whole thing going on. That's why we knew, like, if we were to go inside, you know, maybe he wouldn't follow because he didn't have a badge.
So we got through bag check, and I tapped my badge, and I got to the door, and I kind of dipped behind a pillar to hide. Stopped at the pillar and waited. We looked back to the beginning of bag check, and who was there? Who was there, Shana? Who was there?
The guy.
Yeah, he followed us to checkpoint, and he was arguing with security. We saw security be like, "Hey, where's your badge?" And he's like, "I don't have a badge."
He literally tried to get inside.
Oh, yeah. After security wouldn't let him in, he was like, "Hey, that guy over there," because I made a point to where he could see me. He's like, "That guy over there with the arrow on his head." And he started telling his story. I could see him pointing and yelling. And the security looked over towards me. And he's like, "I can't let you in. You don't have a badge."
Mm-hmm.
And that guy was arguing with security for a good 20 minutes. There was a line forming behind him.
Yeah.
Security finally was like, "Look, you have to go. If you do not leave, we will call the police." Finally, he stepped out of line. I remember us intentionally waiting by the front door after we cleared security for 20 minutes to see him hover.
Because there was enough space in between us and where he was to where we could do something like that. And that's why we made it a point. Why I made it a point to make a video, and then you continue to make a video.
Yeah, and he sat there waiting for us as long as we weren't in the door.
He dawdled there for a long time.
We finally walked in the door, and I assumed that's when he finally gave up.
Because that was the time where it was about to be nighttime. Yeah. So you were telling your friends about it. I was telling anyone that I could tell about it. Oh, yeah. Because we were scared. Because at some point we have to leave.
Oh, yeah. Like both of our friends already had saw it on Instagram Live or the Instagram stories. As soon as we walked in and our friend saw us, was like, dude, are you okay? Are you okay? Is that dude still out there? Thankfully, positive side of the cosplay community, people do care about you.
Yeah.
As we said earlier, if you ever feel threatened, make it known and people will come to your rescue. Even strangers, people that I didn't really know personally who follow me on Instagram or Facebook saw my story. I was like, dude, are you okay? I know we don't know each other, but I saw your story. Do you need me to walk you to your car and stuff like that?
Because we didn't know. We didn't know if this guy was going to do that and just be around after nighttime.
We've had a lot of people talk shit or harass us, but this was the most extreme case. From beginning of when he started talking to Shana to when we went inside.
He never left.
Yeah, it was like 3 hours. Yeah, it was about 3 hours and he was focused on us. And that was like some real trill, scary shit.
It was.
That was one of the first times I asked my friends, I was like, look, if y'all don't mind, I would feel really comfortable if y'all just hung out with us for the next hour or two as we walk on this convention. We don't know if this dude's going to sneak in or what he's going to do or if he's going to rush through security.
Because where we were parked was still out in the open. Yeah. Like, anyone could get to that parking lot. So
we still had to get to our car at some point.
Yeah.
It had dawned on me that my nephew was still out there. He flew out from Michigan to LA to come to Anime Expo. He was with me during that time. This crazy dude had been following us around.
So who knows what that guy has seen.
So I got super concerned. So then I had to call my nephew. I'm like, meet us at the car. And I had to have like a 4-man escort to walk me out to the car to meet my nephew to bring him back inside.
It was a mission.
It was. And fortunately, people saw my story and came to my aid. Like,
it
one
was
of my
nice.
friends and 3 complete strangers. Like, dude, I saw your story. I got your back. This dude is not going to touch you.
It was good.
Luckily, dude was gone by that time. That same night, though, some dude ran through security, made it all the way through the front door. You remember that?
I remember that. It was just like this wild encounter of this dude just bolting through the hallway where we were. And I was like, holy shit, that could have been that guy. I was like, I was looking out. I was ready to fight. I was like, oh, hell no. Get my Jocelyn Hernandez on.
Yeah, like that was scary. Just not less than an hour after we experienced all that, a guy bolts through security badge checks, gets to the front door, gets up the steps, makes it about a good 50 feet.
It was a high-speed chase.
It was. Security was chasing him, and finally some security inside tackled his ass.
Yeah, it was a thing. Like, you see this guy shoot across the hallway, like 5 or 10 police officers were just after him, like tailing him and just trying to get this guy.
And he got tackled. I was like, whoa.
At first glance, I'm like, I thought it was the guy.
Yeah.
I thought it was the guy that was following us. I was like, oh, hell no. Like, this guy did not take it that far.
Dude got tackled on the ground.
It wasn't the guy that was following us, but it looked like
it was just some other random dude.
It was some other random dude that just wanted, I guess he just wanted to get into the convention. But, like, when something like that happened to us happens, you don't take anything for granted. Like, you don't let anything slip by you. You don't, like, nothing happens.
But that goes to show, if that dude really wanted to come in, he could have made at least that far.
If he was fast enough. This guy was going 100 miles per hour.
Yeah,
like,
but it goes to show that dude made it through 3 different security checkpoints. That dude was out to get us, and he had a knife. He could have made it past those 3 people and stabbed us. Mm-hmm. So he could have got us if he really wanted to. Like, that was the shit that was scary.
And I think about this guy to this day. I'm like, what did he want to do? It's not like he could just go through the dealer's room and just buy something really quick and just be like, I bought it, and just walk, like, run out, you know?
Yeah. Seems like the bigger the con, the more crazy the people show up.
It's gotten crazy.
It's gotten crazy. But fortunately, after our friends left us, we ran into King Vader. And for those who don't know, Shana was featured in a King Vader video, in his Endgame video. Also, fortunately, he had another video that needed Predator cosplays. We got Predator cosplays.
Still waiting for that Vader.
Yeah, Vader. We're still waiting for that.
That shit. Quit holding it hostage.
We're still waiting for that video. We ran into him and his crew. We're like, okay, good. He's got a bigger crew than we did.
Oh, yeah.
So we talked to Vader for a hot minute, surrounding ourselves in his crew's presence for more security. I'm like, this dude ain't going to roll up on us. Anyways, long story short, it had been a good 3-4 hours since we last saw a dude. We're like, okay, maybe he's finally gone. The convention is finally closing down. We made it back to our car in one piece, and that was the last we ever heard of him.
It was.
Still doesn't mean I don't think about that dude. There's hate in the community, but there's hate outside of the community.
There is.
Just people that don't understand what we're trying to do, and they can't accept it. So cosplayers, y'all gotta look out. Anyways, let's go to the final story of this podcast. Anime Los Angeles 2019. You were there.
Yeah.
I was there. We thought it was going to be another ALA, another party con. It was going to be cool. It was going to be chill. No, it wasn't. What happened? A stalker lit a girl's car on fire. Not only did that girl's car catch fire and explode, I think there was 3 or 4 other cars that caught residual damage.
Oh, Jesus. So what's the story?
Let me fill you in. There was this guy that had been following this cosplayer. He was a fan and admirer. He had been messaging her, been keeping in touch. He knew she was going to be at LA. Pretty much confessed his love or affection for her or whatever. I think he even followed her to a restaurant or something. They had some kind of face-to-face interaction.
Yeah.
He finally talked to her in person and was like, look, I feel this way for you, da-da-da-da. She broke it down to him nicely. She was like, look, I appreciate your support. I appreciate you being a longtime follower. Sorry, but I have a significant other. I'm actually having dinner with my boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect response.
Mm-hmm.
As a professional, that's all you can do.
Mm-hmm.
You can't help who falls for you. All you can do is tell them the truth and break it down nicely.
Right.
She's thinking it's done. She finishes her dinner, goes back to her hotel. Guess who follows her back to her hotel? Stalker follows her back to her hotel. He waits for them to clear out the car or whatever. The following that you're about to hear was all caught on hotel surveillance video. This dude walks up to her car with a canister of gas, pours it all on her car, lights the shit on fire, and he watches it burn like there's nothing wrong. Let me say it one more time for the people in the back. He has a canister of gas, which means he went out of his way to get a canister, fill it up with gas, follow her back to the hotel room. So pause. That means when she shot him down at the restaurant, he left to go get a canister and gas, fill that shit up, go back to the restaurant and wait for her to finish eating. Wait for her to go to the hotel and drive to the hotel. Oh, you look like you got something to say, Shana.
I'm waiting till you finish your story.
Okay, so follows her to the hotel, pours gas on her car, and lights that shit on fire like it's some Hollywood blockbuster. He wasn't even like throw a match and run. He threw a match and waited and watched that shit catch on fire. He's clearly visible on footage. Car catches on fire. Car freaking explodes. All the cars next to it catch on fire and they're burnt or messed up. I don't remember the extent of the damage, but her car was totaled.
I just thought of it like, okay, you meet this person at a convention. Doesn't matter where you meet a person. If they're not digging you, if they're not into you, if they don't want anything from you, don't take it personally. How are you a person, a human being, and you think because I got rejected, I'm going to take a can of gasoline, dump it on someone's car, and lighting on fire? Who are you to think that?
But that's a scary thing. People think just because they follow you, they know you. Unfortunately, that's how some of these crazy ass people think. They think through social media, because they follow you and comment, that they're part of your life.
That they're entitled.
And that, yeah, entitlement is the best word for that. He felt he was entitled to having his chance with this person because he bought prints or merchandise or donated
It does
to
not
a coffee
matter.
or whatever.
It doesn't matter. After I heard his reasoning as to what had happened, I was like even more distraught. I'm like, you think that you're somebody special. Obviously. That's where I'm losing my mind. That's some bitch shit right there. I will tell you right now.
In conclusion, it was all caught on video. They called the police. Dude got arrested. At least that happened. Unfortunately, he was only locked up for maybe a day, 24 hours, not even.
And what's that?
Because his parents got money and he is a spoiled trust fund baby and he bailed himself out. Well, his bail was something ridiculous. Like, it was like six figures. It was like $100,000 or $200,000 bail. He didn't even ask his parents for money. He bailed himself out. Got on Facebook the next day and said this: I'm free. I'm rich, bitch. You can't stop me. And that was it. A couple months after that, I went to another convention and ran into someone that personally knows that guy. I had a conversation with him, not even knowing that he knew that. I was like, hey, did you hear about the guy that set the girl's car on fire? He's like, oh yeah, I know that dude. He filled me in. Oh yeah, he's a trust fund baby. I'm not going to throw his name out there, but he likes to cosplay Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat. He looked
Just saying.
He a middle-aged Asian man who could be 30, but looking like he's 58, that likes to cosplay Liu Kang. To your rich-ass parents, they embarrassed of you. First off, your dad shouldn't have hit it raw. And second off, maybe he should have pulled out. He should have been on some, like, ancient kung fu and pulled out. I understand pulling out hasn't worked since 1985, but still, your parents ain't shit. They know you ain't shit, and they trying to cover the fact that you ain't shit. So bottom of the line,
exactly.
Yo ho family ain't shit. So call Mushu from Mulan so he can call up on the ancestors to tell your ancestors that yo ho family right now ain't shit.
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 Period.
Poop. emoji. And in that order, Mama D.
In that order, Mama D, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I'm trying to get on that show because I'm trying to throw it down. You know what I mean? Like I got a few punches in me. Like I'm trying to like do something.
All right. We threw Mama D from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta in there. Definitely time to wrap up this podcast episode.
We've been watching a lot of Love and Hip Hop lately.
Yes, we have. Y'all get the point. Anime conventions are not as safe as they used to be. A lot of crazy, disturbed people out there. Mm-hmm. Be careful. Watch your friends. Watch your family. Watch your kids for all you parents out there. A lot of people don't want to speak on the dark sides of the community. They just lie to themselves. It's not as wholesome as it used to be.
It's not.
There are these kind of things happening at conventions all the time. If someone wants to kill the Green Ranger from Power Rangers, then ain't nobody safe.
Angel Grove is not safe.
Angel Grove ain't safe. So LA, Chicago, New York, hell, even Iowa cons aren't safe. People out there crazy.
That was a lot.
All right, guys, let's wrap this video up. Make sure you follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, because we be streaming. You know, we've been playing video games for a minute. Mm-hmm. Shana especially has been streaming way before this pandemic. Not trying to throw shade, but at the same time throwing shade at people that just decide to start streaming all of a sudden. All of a sudden, everyone's a streamer and a rapper and a YouTuber now because we all stuck at home and we ain't got shit to do. So for those who watch this on YouTube, make sure y'all subscribe and hit the notification button. I've been getting a lot of messages from people saying, "Hey, Renji, did you still make videos?" I'm like, yeah, I've been putting a video out almost every week for almost the last 2 years.
They're not seeing it. So if you guys could just hit that notification button, that little bell button.
The bell button.
The bell button.
Next to the subscribe button. Or just look at my channel once a week and there will be something new. Trust me. Anyways, this podcast is also available on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Podbean, and wherever you find your favorite podcasts. So check it out because we getting official. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Fanservice Renji.
I'm Shana Mostella.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys. Be safe out there. Stay home.